TPCSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app.
2,000 years long, we will never settle. Hard days, no way, with a heavy metal. No time, no fail, won't stop here. Like a torch to a flame when it burns hot.
Yourself a merry little Christmas night, and have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and it is an honor to have Mr. CXO, Mr. Travs Geiger of WagerWire, everyone piling in as we speak to end the 2024 year. I didn't give him this question, which I'm going to give him 30 seconds to think about it. We're going to start with a little year in review with Mr. Geiger, how the year has gone with them at WagerWire and what to expect in 2025. Then we're going to be talking some tickets. Some still in action, some sweating really, really hard, some that have been sold, and one of the beauties of being a part of WagerWire. So a shout out, of course, to WagerWire. Head on over to Google Play or wherever you download the apps. It's free, logo top right corner. Download it today. I promise you 2025 is going to be a fun, I call it an epic year. So without further ado, let's bring him in. The CXO himself, Mr. Travs Geiger. Happy holidays. You're muted.
It's good to see you, my friend.
Back east in Cincinnati, I heard.
I am back east in Cincinnati, back home with fam. Looking at the Red Stadium over there and the Bengals Stadium over there. Hopefully they can pull it off. We'll see. 16% chance the Bengals make the playoffs, I heard.
Go, Joe, go. Jamar Chase, maybe T. Higgins for one more year. We'll see. And the Cincinnati Reds, listen, the big red machine when I was growing up, you got my all-time favorite coach, Tito Francona, this year. Going to be a big fan of your Reds here this year.
Hey, I believe in that squad every year, and they're solid even though they break my heart, so whatever.
I gave you a little teaser in the intro here. We've been together for some time now and looking forward to, obviously, 2025. But if I said to Travis, give us the year in review for WagerWire. I mean, you've been traveling the globe. We did live shows from the Olympics this year, Hollywood, you name, Circus Swim. Give us the year in review, Travis.
All right. Well, if you want to pull up my screen, we can load the year to come as I talk about the year in review, because I think they have a lot in common here. Okay. So we just sold an 85-cent parlay that was 14-legger that needed Ohio State for $17K. And I say that I bring that up first because that's where WagerWire is going. We've been talking to people about the sports betting aftermarket. We've talked to people about buying and selling bets. We're now in the business of doing that. We've built the technology, we built the marketplace, we built the community. So, you know, what I think is really interesting too is that we're being honored by it, recognized by both the bettors and the industry. I'll talk about the industry awards first. Hopefully the people on X know us as friendly faces and a good hang. But, you know, we were nominated for best betting product this year at the gambling.com awards. We were nominated for best X presence at the #sports awards. Shout out to everybody in our X community that made that happen. We lost to the NBA. It was us, the NBA, and Fox Sports for their Women's World Cup coverage. So pretty cool group to be a part of. And the FSGA Awards, that's the fantasy conference that and industry group. We were Best Fantasy Innovation nominated for Best Sports Affiliate of the Year at SBC in New York, and the Rising Star of the Year in New York earlier in February. We won the EGR Awards. That's very prestigious awards by the C-suites vote on it of the gambling companies. Sorry, they are all kind of insider BS, but as you know, we love awards here at WagerWire. We track award shows. We've also been nominated for the EGR European Awards for the Rising Stars of Western Europe. You mentioned we've been doing a lot of time abroad. Been to Malta twice, went to the Olympics, spoke in Amsterdam, went to London, and we went to Lisbon. We'll be going to Barcelona third week of January. We're bringing this concept worldwide. Leave it to the Americans to find something that hadn't been done. What an oversight, selling bets. It's so obvious. I think we're going to be living in a future where you can't believe that you were stuck with your bet in the past, that you could only sell it back to the sports book for a rip-off rate. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, Jeff.
Well, it's it's been an amazing journey, and I think we're just at the tip of the iceberg. And 2025 is going to be epic, as we like to say, as we start our 10th year of public service. We're in the 1%. Back in 2015, when we launched East Coast Sports Investors, well before PASPA was passed, everyone looked at us as like, sports investing, you're gambling. I was like, no. We're not gambling. You'll catch on real soon. Now everyone's a sports investor, of course, and we just couldn't be more happier to be partnered with you guys on your journey.
Thanks, man. And I will say, Jeff, you were one of the earliest creators to join with us, and now we've had a growing creator team. We got a great Wire media network. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of the media we got going around with our great partners. Not time to name them all here before we get into it, but you've seen them around, and we'll be able to announce even more soon. What we want to do is bring you guys fresh content, new content, and always be improving on the media that we serve our community, because there's like a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of people giving picks, talking out their butts. You know, it's a lot of sports books that are kind of being deceptive, that are shilling parlays, same game parlays, kind of doing some dishonest practices. We want to look out for people. We also want to be here if people need mental help, if they have gambling addiction, if a loss really got them down. We're going to be rolling out some support networks here this year for everybody, because we want to empower the better, right? We're partnered with all these casinos, sports books. Ultimately, those are the people that take the bets, but we want the bettors to know that we're here for that too.
And that's a big part of what we are always here. We're always trying to educate with some form of entertainment, and we've always tried to slow down that process. And in today's world, especially where you have a walking casino in the palm of your hand, and that's of course your cell phone, and then with all the endless commercials, the DraftKings, the FanDuels, you kind of get almost hypnotized, and so you get a part of that little bite of the apple, and we call it quicksand. And sometimes if you take too big of a bite and you get hooked in it, you can't get out, and that's where the 800 number comes in, and that's where the support groups and everything. We always say, stay in your lane, don't get above your skis, and always remember there's tomorrow.
Always remember there's tomorrow if it gets too bleak. And WagerWire stands too, though, is that 800 number, we want to go well beyond that, right? Like that's, in a lot of ways, that's a CYA for companies. We want to actually offer real support. We want to be able to refer you to specialists if you need them. We also just want to have casual talks and, socialize things before they become a problem, because I'm of the mind that people know way more about sports than they know about the stock market or even these cryptos that they're investing in because they have a funny name. You know where this person went to high school. You might even know their high school stats. You followed them their whole career, and now you're going to bet on how many yards they have that game. That's an educated bet, right? That's an investment. If you have, the ability to treat it like an investment, which WagerWire does. So once you've invested in that player, as you see them going on, like as you see a company progress through a quarter or through a year, if you own the stock, as you see a player progress through the game and they get closer or further away from that number you thought that they were going to hit, you should be able to name your price and flip out of it, or buy more shares in it, basically, right? Now, this is different than a peer-to-peer exchange. These are bets that originate on licensed sports books. Some of the biggest ones we're already partnered with, and what we're looking at right now is actually a FanDuel bet. So people probably have heard of Prop Swap. They did this in the physical space with tickets before us. Think of us as a digital version of them. If anyone's listening who's familiar, and they're good guys. There's plenty of room for everybody, but this is the era of being able to sell your bet. I want to impress that into everybody that 2025 you can sell your bet.
Well, we're excited. We're your software is second to none. Your actual live numbers is just off the charts, and we look forward to using them a lot more in 2025. I kind of gave you and Zach a little headline of where we're planning to go. A little, I'll put it out there. We came up with a buy, hold, sell, or yell, and basically, the premise is very simply, you have a part of a ticket, and like the stock market, like crypto, you have the actual number, what it's worth. You have the value where you bought it. Now, as the days and the games progress, whether it's a NFL, whether it's a NBA or whatever future it is, through the highs and the lows, you will be a part of this journey. And UConn, who had lost 3 in a row and was the worst team in everyone's eyes, now has won 4 in a row, and they're backing Grace with a lot of people. And we're going to be using your calculator and your live odds to bring the community and social media to be a part and enjoy this journey as well.
Yeah, man, I think it's super exciting. So I want to start with this bet because it's like this person had an 85-cent parlay. They needed Ohio State. Now, this is right before the Tennessee game, right? So if everyone wants to put themselves in that position, I want to know, Jeff, if you think that you would have he flipped 85 cents into 17K. Now it's on its way to 147, right? So what do you think? Do you think the guy made a good, hindsight's 2020, but what do you think about this?
I think the gentleman that placed the 85-cent bet and got 17K, hats off to him. That was one hell of an investment and one hell of a return. The person that bought it, I still think is a hell of an investment and a potential hell of a return. Now, again, 2.5-point favorites against Oregon. If they win, and they've already lost to them once at Oregon, now a neutral field, which we'll talk about, then probably get the likes of a Georgia or a Notre Dame. So that person that bought it, I hope, will at least do some hedging in the Rose Bowl, and if win, then hedge again. So I think both sides won. How's that sound, Travis?
I like that. I actually agree with you. 85 cents into 17 ain't bad. And then the person who bought it is basically doubled their money already, right? On that immediate win. And they can easily hedge this out at this point. It's impossible to hedge a 14-leg parlay, especially when this started at 85 cents, right? How are you going to have the money to do that? And for all we know, this was the last 85 cents in the person's account. Actually, we know who the bettor is. And if anyone wants to follow them, it's Unit Upper right here. Strictly Business is their thing, which I like, out of BMO. So this guy from the Mo places a FanDuel bet. Incredible call. I mean, look at how this bet starts out. It's an over in the All-Star game, right? And then it gets crazier from there. So yeah. At the time of sale, like the cash out was much lower than this because of the events that had transpired. So they were basically looking at, if Ohio State lost, they would go to zero on this thing that at one point the cash out was up to 22K. And then by the time they brought it to us, things had slipped, but look, 17K is not so bad.
No, it's a win-win so far for both parties. Especially, obviously, it's a definite win for an 85-cent investment turned into 17K. If you could do that every day, you'd be whistling Dixie there, Travis.
Yeah, totally. I think the final cash out was like 14, so they got 3 more K out of it than they would have for cash out. And then now this person who bought it is doubled their money, and they bought it for a discount to begin with, right? So good stuff all around. And pretty much anyone who wanted to buy Ohio State going into that Tennessee game would be in the money and theoretically could start selling all or part of their action on WagerWire now. And if you want to go to VIP@wagerwire.com, if you have a bet, also here you can get started. You can actually submit your bet for sale right through the website, which is a new feature. If you continue with your email, blah, 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 put it in. And we'll look at it and try to find some buyers for you. This is our graph site, which is pretty cool. Now it's on consensus right now. You saw it was 330 actually on that bet slip. So because it's a FanDuel bet. So one of the things that's really cool that our graph does now is you can toggle between sportsbook odds and it'll update the graph accordingly, which is super great. Let's see what the DraftKings difference is. It's 380. It's not updating. Anyway, so pretty cool feature, wagerwire.com/graph. We can come back to this later, look at the NFL. You can also, compare teams if you wanted to compare them to Fighting Irish. Ooh, interesting. So $100 bet placed, let's call it the beginning of the month. You're double your money on Notre Dame, you're down on Ohio State. So this is another thing you can do. You can put in, your futures wager. You can go on the graph. You can actually set the parameters. So if I wanted to look at when I placed a futures bet, let's say I placed it back November 1st. I'm going to bring it all the way to today. I can set my graph parameters. Pretty cool. So I'm up 5x on my Notre Dame bet since then. Anyway, that is pretty sweet. Go ahead.
Russell Saylor just said the no right now on Ohio State is -400. So the easy way out, instead of if you had to hedge each way out, is the gentleman that purchased that ticket now has if he just wanted to say, hey, I have this much left, it is -4 to 1, obviously, but again, can guarantee, through the win, hopefully on Wednesday, and then the following week, and then get to the championship as well. So again, there are definitely outs there, Travis, if needed.
Yeah, and the equivalent odds that this guy ended up buying in at the last leg for was 781 because he paid 1750 was the true total for, so it's great. It's a win-win-win, like we said, Jeff. And I wanted to look at another one that's actually kind of juicy, that's kind of brewing right now. And that is this 3-legger that also needs Ohio State to win. Now, this is with a bettor out of Tennessee, who's a good friend, Calvin. And we're actually going to be going with Calvin to the Rose Bowl, me and Zach. Also, our friend Kevin Noon, who's been doing the Behind the Bet series with him. He's a big Ohio State media personality. He's going to be coming with. Got some friends going up there. So maybe we should talk to you while we're up at the Rose Bowl.
That's definitely, I'll be sitting and waiting. I'll send the link. Let's get it done.
Let's get it done. So this is an interesting bet. 14K is a lot to lay on a parlay, but to win whatever it was, I just erased it. But 101, 725. But we think that the cash out is more like 70K right now. This is another thing I want people to know about. Is there's the cash out calculator right down here. So you can put in what the cash out is, and it can tell you how many cents on the dollar it would be. Now, this is comparing it to what you would have to go lay at the window right now to make that straight bet, right? So if you like 70K is what we have to actually talk to Calvin and see what the current offer is. We imagine it's around there. This is pretty par for the course, is why we think that 69 cents on the dollar, 70 cents on the dollar. This is what cash out's kind of offering you. So, there's a lot of room for new value creation in here because you got 14K on the line. If it gets into 6 figures, you got to be thinking about it, right? You got to be thinking about selling it. Or if I'm him, I'm even thinking about getting my money back right now. I'm thinking about selling 14K worth of this off, right? Why not? And then just keep the rest of the percentage upside.
And you can kind of get cute here. And again, this is all the options. We peel the onion back as far as we can. There's some 2.5s. I doubt it will tip to 3, but my point is you could get Oregon, let's just say +3 next Wednesday at the Rose Bowl. And let's just say Ohio State wins by 1 or 2. It's a win-win proposition then, Travis.
I think so. And for the people that are really good at math, like you said, like Russell Saylor said with the no at -400, I mean, boom, right? Lock it in.
It's there. Don't leave any stones unturned, Travis. That's the key to success.
That's the key to success, Jeff. I totally agree. And so which team did you just bring up?
Oregon.
Oregon, right? Okay, so that's who they're going head to head with. That's the odds. If we wanted to look at bet value, we can look at bet value. But this is from the beginning of the season where they started. If we look at where they've been coming down the stretch here, yeah. So Ohio State's got the momentum. Are they favorite? What's the odds? What's the line in that game? What's the odds?
Ohio State is now -2.5 on the spread.
So tell me the logic that we were talking about last year of betting a team to win the national championship versus betting them to win an elimination game in the college football playoffs.
Well, again, you wanted to be building and adding to your portfolio. And truth be told, Oregon was the #1 seed, and they got the shaft in the whole tournament. They got a week off. And then with their week off, now they have to face Ohio State. And the winner of that game then is going to have to face, if I am reading this correctly, will have to face Georgia or Notre Dame. So they did not get the easiest bracket to move through this dance here. So it is imperative that this person with Ohio State play this correctly here. The winner of this game against Notre Dame will probably be short favorites. The winner of this game against Georgia, if Georgia beats Notre Dame, will probably be a pick 'em. Georgia might be -1, depends on how the backup QB plays. So again, it's the tough side of the bracket, put it that way, to get to that championship game.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just playing around on this here. Maybe one of our people could put it in the chat if they're watching. I want to make sure that everyone's got access to this tool because I think it's pretty cool. It's basically what East Coast sports investing is all about. Basically looking at where to buy low, sell high, manage your positions.
And again, up at top, most people think Penn State and Texas are both going to move on, and then Texas will be favored over Penn State. So again, you can get real cutesy if you think Texas is going to prevail, beating Arizona State this week, and then beating most likely Penn State. You could buy some stock right now in Texas, and if you got a Texas Ohio State final, then you already got half the battle covered over there as well. What's Texas right now? +310.
So they're the overall favorite.
Correct. So you can buy some shares of Texas, who were 13.5-point favorites this week. They'll probably be, I don't know, 5 or 6 point favorites against Penn State. So you can buy a chunk of Texas right now and hope that they win this week, and then they'll be pretty good favorites against Penn State as long as Ohio State keeps doing their job as well.
Interesting times, right? What do you think about this bet that we'll be at the Rose Bowl with here?
Oh, it's gonna be a hell of a battle. What Ohio State showed against Tennessee was that team that everyone thought in August. Now, can they bottle that up and then go to the Rose Bowl? Ohio State travels well, but this is in Pasadena, Oregon. There'll be a sea of green there as well. You already lost to them by 1 at Oregon. You need to win both sides of the ball. I'd like to see Ohio State get out early. I don't want to see them chasing the Ducks this game. So I do lean Ohio State. I like Ohio State currently right now. We got a few days till we figure that one out, but I do lean on the Buckeye side.
I'm all for the Buckeyes right now. We'll see. It could be their year.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so. It would be the first year since 2015, right? And then was that the Sugar Bowl
against Alabama?
At Alabama, yeah. And then before that was like the Maurice Claret year, I think.
And then the 15 was Ezekiel Elliott.
Wow. And Maurice Claret, man, what a story that is too.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm trying to get his jersey, but I couldn't get it in time. They don't print him anymore as part of that NCAA thing. To get a custom 13.
Do you want to pull up the NFL?
Yeah, let's do it. Switch over to NFL.
Now, here's my take before we look at the graphs here. You got Kansas City winning this week. Hasn't cracked 31, but they're miraculously 15-1. The road through the AFC goes through Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid going for a three-peat. The two legitimate shots, obviously, are Baltimore and Buffalo. Those two are going to battle it out, most likely to see who goes to Arrowhead to play the Chiefs. And you can see right there, Lamar and company, as long as Buffalo wins this week, Lamar and company will be traveling to Buffalo if they both win their week one games. So again, the value is on Lamar. You can get him at plus 700, or Buffalo's already beaten Kansas City this year. So again, you could say, hey, I like Buffalo. They're short favorites. If Lamar and company come in, they'll probably be 2.5-point favorites, and you can have a plus 500 ticket going back to Arrowhead to face the Chiefs. Or if you're a Chiefs believer, grab your 360 now. And I tell everyone this: if you like Kansas City, Buffalo, or the Ravens and Lamar, one of those three teams to get to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, check your sports books. Check and see if they are offering Super Bowl MVPs. Because if Kansas City, Buffalo, or the Ravens win the Super Bowl, it's not a guarantee, but I will almost guarantee you Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, or Lamar Jackson will win the MVP. So you might be able to get 5-6 to 1 odds on one of those three to win the MVP. Get a little more beef on that, because the 7 to 1, 5 to 1, and 360, the prices will almost double at the MVP look before the tournament starts, versus if you wait to the Super Bowl, and then you'll see, if the Chiefs are there, you'll see Mahomes at minus 130 to win the MVP. If Josh Allen's there, you'll see him minus 130, and then you'll see the same for Lamar Jackson.
What about these Bengals?
Do you believe?
Remind me what needs to happen. The Colts have to lose and the Broncos have to lose twice.
Yes. And the Broncos played the Bengals.
They do.
So if the Bengals win, then the Broncos would have to lose week 18, which they face NFL week 18. The Broncos will
face the Chiefs, right?
Pittsburgh. The Bengals are at the Steelers, and the Broncos are home against the Chiefs. And I will tell you this: the Chiefs are resting everyone. They're not playing anyone.
I know. Who's their backup? Who would have to beat Denver in a must-win game? Can they do that with their backups? Who's Mahomes' backup?
Oh, now you're testing me here. Oh goodness gracious! I should know that. Shame on me. Now you stumped Schwab here.
Yes.
Thank you, Carson Wentz. Thank you, Mr.
Carson
Sale.
Wentz. I think Carson Wentz could. I mean, I don't think much of the Broncos, so I don't know. But I don't know.
So let's flip over to the NFC.
Okay, let's do it. You want to go to the NFC Championship? We have those too. We can do that kind of thing.
Okay.
Let's do it. And we'll do let's do consensus. We're on FanDuel, but
okay.
We'll do consensus.
You're in AFC. Go to NFC. So you got obviously the Lions, the Eagles, and then you throw in the Packers. And I guess you got to throw in the Vikings.
I guess we do.
So as it stands right now, it goes through Detroit, which they hold on to the 1 seed. They'll have a bye week, which we know they are decimated with injuries. But plus 170. Currently, the Eagles at plus 292. Jalen Hurts still in concussion protocol, by the way. And then we got the game this Sunday night where the Packers are now 1-point favorites at Minnesota. So those are the two down below. I think the Lions luster with all the injuries. I think Philly can go in and beat them. I think the Packers are real dangerous, and I just think Minnesota's. I don't want hats off. I was wrong. I thought they'd regress this year. But Sam Darnold traveling, I got more faith in the Packers and the Eagles going into Detroit to knock off the Lions than I do currently. That price of plus 170 on the Lions, I would tell everyone I would not be running to the window to be playing plus 170 to win the NFC.
Now, if you bet on the Vikings at the beginning of the season, you'd be feeling pretty good right now. I think I'd be looking at getting out of those Vikings bets if I was holding them.
I would too. I would too, sir.
Okay, interesting stuff. We'll keep you up to date on everything as we go. We'll have more bets for sale. And like I said, VIP at wagerwire.com. Also, if you are using our calculator right here at the bottom of the page, you can submit your calculated bet right to us. Boom. And just fill it out. You can even do it through your Google. And yeah, easy peasy. And we'll look at it. We'll try to find a buyer for you. And yeah, that's all I got for today.
Well, we can't thank you enough. I'm going to try to move us up here. We'll get you on the big screen. Wrapping up, we're going to try to get you for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes at the Rose Bowl, maybe walking in, talking to you guys, talk to Calvin for a couple quick seconds, see how the sweat's going there. But as we always wrap it up, tell everyone where they can find all your work, signing up for the email blast, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
You can find us, wagerwire.com, to get you started. You can see the calc, /graph, /community. You can read all our articles, see some great clips. Follow us on X at WagerWire. We're also on TikTok, if anyone still does that, at WagerWire. On Instagram at WagerWire Live, because Drake is still parking our shit. And on Jeff Dawson's show every Friday.
Shout out to Mr. Saylor. Wentz could hold the Colts' future in his hands. Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see. Is it Joe Flacco this week? Anthony Richardson not spotted early in practice there. Shout out to Alan. Love all your work, Alan. Can't wait to connect with you soon. I was talking to Travis backstage on some big plans that we got for 2025 back here. Want to thank everyone for watching and listening. If you haven't already, jump on over to YouTube, East Coast Sports Investors. Subscribe. It's free. Hoping to get back here for the closing bell with Riley Magnuson sooner than later. Everyone, have a great day, a great week. Happy holidays to all, and we will see you soon.